And we are live. What's up, everybody? Welcome to a show, or should I say the show? Welcome to another video. And I have today CJ. Man, thank you so much. It is a pleasure having you here. We talk
Hey.
periodically. And yeah, dude, it's a pleasure having you here. I watch your channel, love your content. So it's a pleasure having you here.
Oh,
And Jay,
make
just say
sure.
what's up to everybody. And just let them know where you're located, where you ride out of, and then we'll just get this thing started. One other thing, I want to thank everyone for joining us. Spartacus, I see you, bro. Always in the trenches with us. I appreciate you, man. And we'll just get warmed up a little bit. We'll wait for a few more people to jump in here. And then we're just going to rock this live stream out with CJ. And yeah, man. So, first of all, how's your day going?
Pretty good. A little on the chilly side, but we're good.
Awesome. Awesome. Now, did you ride today or you
Oh,
just
yeah.
kind of chilled out a little bit?
Yeah, I rode to the end of my driveway and then back.
And that still counts, man. That still points as
Oh,
a
yeah.
ride. That still points as a ride. So we're just going to kind of just glide into this. We're going to wait for a few more people to jump in. Again,
Yeah.
I want to thank
And,
everybody that is tuning in and is going to tune in tonight. We've had some great guests on here. We had Speedy Kitty on. We've had Speedy Kit Kat on. Speedy Kitty 94, pardon me. We had Flip. We had Wilson. Now we have CJ with the glasses. And
yeah,
it's been,
I
we had
can't see
Dawn
anything
Champion
without
on
them.
last week. So that was cool. And now we're following up with CJ. And one thing I love about your content, CJ, and I said this to you before, you like to tinker. And I love that because
Yes,
when
I
I tune
do.
into your channel, you're always doing something to
I'm
keep
always
us,
tinkering.
involved with it. So, yeah, man. So, again, tell us a little about yourself and then we'll jump into the meat and potatoes of this thing.
Yeah, okay, well, let's see. I'm a Midwestern boy, originally from Iowa, moved to Tennessee, been down here. Got older parents, take care of those folks. When the pandemic hit, like everybody, a lot of people started riding because they needed to get out of the house. And I had seen an electric unicycle, but I didn't actually really believe that it was a real thing. I thought it was some kind of anime cartoon stuff on the internet, and
Mhm.
I literally saw one, and probably 6 7 months went by, and then I saw another one and went, oh, no, what's going on here, what is this thing? And I tuned into YouTube, and that's where I ended up picking up Marty's channel and just kind of
Nice.
watching and going, oh my god, this is a real thing, and I want to do that.
Awesome. And you
Yeah.
started during you're a pandemic rider? That's
I think a lot of people
me
started
too.
during the pandemic.
Yeah, that's when I started. 2020, didn't know, have anything to do. They laid me off for work. And the video that sealed it for me for my riding was a Chooch video on a 16X with a cup of coffee with the suit commuting to work. And I said, I got to learn how to ride one of these things.
Yeah, I think Chooch was the second channel that I kind of picked up on, the second
Mhm.
or third channel.
Nice. Nice.
So yeah, he was out there riding in, where's he at? Like Wyoming or someplace like that. I don't know.
He is in Colorado, I believe.
Colorado, yeah,
Yeah.
and riding through the mountains, and yeah, and then of course, Marty's videos, riding through Southern California was pretty inspirational. So yeah.
Yeah, Marty, dude, I definitely want to make my way out there and ride in California, Southern Cal. I mean, the terrain just looks phenomenal. And that is definitely on my 2024 list of places to ride. And again, I want to thank everyone that has come in joining us, man. This is going to be epic. I say this because I think you're going to learn. Not that you haven't learned anything, but I think CJ is definitely going to bring it tonight because he has like I said, he has a tinkerer's brain. I call him the master modder, and
The
we're gonna jump into this now. So first thing we're gonna go with, what EUCs do you ride, and what wheels have become your go-to wheel?
Hmm. Sherman S.
There we
It's the
go.
Sherman S all the way, man.
Thank you.
That's
Okay.
that's that's my daily driver. That's it.
Now, what do you say to the people? Oh man, the Sherman doesn't have enough power. It's supposedly outdated now, which is completely ridiculous when I hear people say this.
I I don't. I'm not sure because the Sherman, it's a 100-volt wheel.
Hmm.
At the time when it came out, it was like kind of like the top dog there for a little bit. It still is in the suspension department. Um, but it's got a couple of different modes on it. One's a high speed mode, okay,
Okay.
and then the other mode, which it normally comes in, which is like a high torque mode. So
Nice.
it kind of has the ability to switch back and forth. I'm aware of that function. I've never used it.
Okay.
And I get the feeling that immediately a lot of people probably put their Sherman in high speed mode. All right. And then possibly when other people were, you know, running around it, testing it, didn't realize that the mode had been maybe switched and went, oh, this unit doesn't have enough torque to get up the side of this hill, stuff like that. So I'm still kind of out on the game on that one. You know,
Okay.
I still like the Sherman S. It's just the best. It's the best.
Dude, I still have yet to ride the Sherman S, man. So I'm looking forward to actually getting
It's
my
so
mitts
smooth, man.
on
It's
the
so
wheel
smooth. And maybe the Commander, like the
pro.
Commander Mini or the Commander Pro, um, might be very similar to it.
Hmm.
Um, I don't know. Bago's got some new wheels that are out. We've got the Adventure. Um, we have a T2, a T4. Um, Even the EX20 is still rocking on eWheels website. So I was
Yeah.
pretty amazed. It's still fetching a pretty good price, and so those are dual suspension.
Yeah.
They're side by side, so they're not the kind of the scissor shock, air shock that Bago, like on the Master Pro, and couple other ones, I think. So, and I don't know. I'm kind of torn between the two, but I lean more towards the like the air or the um, dual side by side shock.
You like the
Yeah,
dual suspension.
yeah. It just feels
Hydraulic.
better. It feels a
Okay.
lot better. Yeah, side by side
Yeah.
dual on both sides, and oil or air or whatever.
Right. I rode the Commander Pro Mini and the suspension felt really, really good. Now, I can't say that it was just a quick first impressions ride, but it felt really good compared to like when I rode the Hero. So if I would compare the Hero to the Mini suspension was better to me. It was stiff, but I like the stiffness in it. I don't want a wheel that's just too bouncy. You know what I mean? That's when you get pogo sticked off.
Right,
So
right.
I thought the suspension was phenomenal. So I can imagine it being on the Commander Pro or even the Sherman S. So hold on. So let me give a quick shout out here to Wilson. Thank you so much for jumping in.
Who's
Code
all
Key
here?
Robinson, my brother, thank you so much for joining in. And we'll go here, throw up the comments. I'm going to try to stay up with the comments. So, yeah, do a rundown. Did you do the rundown of what you have so far?
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, so um, I got a lot of electric unicycles, probably as many as Marty and some of the top dog rider guys, and I am just simply trying to keep up with the Joneses. They always buy a new wheel, and I'm like, oh man, and I'm not a tester. I don't get wheels for free or anything like that.
Right.
So my only choice is just to cough up the money and
Right.
buy what they're talking about and go out there and ride them myself and see what I think. So I've ended up with a lot of them. I love suspension wheels.
Mhm.
Although I've kicked back to not a couple of. I've got a couple of non-suspension wheels, and I'll go ride on those on occasion. And it's just a change. and
Yeah,
it just feels different, But yeah, I got a bunch. Let me see if we can point them around here right now. It's kind of a mess.
dude, that's a wicked
Um,
stable. That's a good stable, dude. And see, this is, I don't think a lot of people know when they watch your channel how many wheels you have. That's why I always say, man, I value your opinion because you pretty much wrote everything out there, pretty much, or you have it, all the main staples that are in people's stables.
this one I'm working on right now.
Is
This
that a
is a master.
Shinko tire on there?
I couldn't even
Did
tell
you
you.
change the tire or no?
No, no, that's what it can. That's what the V2 comes with.
Wow, okay, it looked like a Shinko on there. All right.
Yeah, and it's a gorgeous tire. At least on the well, that's what's coming on the V2. Um, but this is a V2 that I kind of modified and put some V1 parts on it, and
Mm-hmm.
kind of eliminated about like 13 pounds off of this thing.
That was crazy, dude. I saw that video. That's some major weight that you
Here's
knock off that thing.
an EX20 that
Oh,
I've never
that's nice.
ridden. Um,
I like that.
I kind of picked up this one mainly because Go George Go had one for a little while.
Mm-hmm.
Here's a Monster Pro,
Yes.
and you can see how they've they switched over from using plastic bodies, okay,
Right.
over to metal chassis, and so this is pretty much top of the line for like Bagode right now, or at least this
Mm-hmm.
Master Pro is. So, and then
Master
of
Pro's a
course
beast.
I
Master
got
Pro
my
is a beast.
I got my Leaper Kim collection here. I got a Max, Sherman Max,
Mm-hmm.
and two Sherman S's, and a V1, which I'm thinking about giving away. I don't know.
The V11. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. And then you
Yeah.
do have the M10, the N10 crew, right?
Yeah. I got the M10 right down here. Let's take a look at that.
All right. The 4. Nice.
Isn't it a cute little guy? He's so cute. I love this thing.
Painted yellow, man's claptrap from
Right.
Borderlands.
Hey, they got a yellow M10 Mini coming out. Did you
Yes,
see
they
it?
do.
Yeah.
They do. They have a
Looks
black
like
one
a
coming up too.
banana.
I think it's black with a little bit of purple mixed into it.
Mint. No.
And you
Have
want
you
the
seen?
yellow?
Have you seen the yellow
I
one?
have seen the yellow,
Right.
but
Okay.
they have a black one too. I don't know what
Yeah.
dealer is selling that one. It might be E-Wheels. Don't quote me on that.
E-wheels, I think.
Is it
Yeah.
E-Wheels? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So again, people that are watching, thank you so much for coming in. Please, if you have not, give CJ a sub to his
Oh
channel. Has
yeah.
great content. Make
I
sure you
always
like the
enjoy it.
video, give it a thumbs up, try to run up the numbers on this thing. And wow. So again, dude, this is why I love your channel. You have a lot of great insight. You ride a lot of wheels, and you're not afraid to give your opinion.
I'm
That's what
just,
I like too.
I'm
You
just
know,
addicted to it. It's so much fun, man. It's awesome.
it's dude, it's
And I've got like OCD anyway, and so when I see these wheels coming from Bagota, I'm always wanting to fix something, right? So, and I've always had kind of a notion to be tinkering on stuff. So that's why I'm always working on my wheels. You know,
EUC vibes is in the
is it
building.
your yeah, Mr. Vibes?
What's up, brother?
I gotta get some more videos out of him, man. He's giving me all the shorts. That's all I get from him, just shorts.
Yeah, here's a good comment. CJ is the man. Been a fan of his channel for a while. His shop is inspirational. His wheel collection is top. Yes, it is top tier, man. I told you, dude. Yeah, man. Your shop. You call it the CJ,
Oh,
like the Bat
I could
Cave.
I could always use more tools.
I
You
think
know, it's always good to have the right tool for the job. You know.
Unicycle. What's happening? How you doing, Dale? Thanks for joining in. Make sure you guys hit the thumbs up button. So let's dive a little bit deeper. You ready to jump down this rabbit hole? Let's go a little bit
You're
deeper.
gonna pick me. You're gonna probe me.
I'm going to
Okay.
probe into that dome of yours and see what makes it tick. So I got a few little questions for you, okay?
Okay. I'm ready.
So what are your thoughts on the cost and quality of EUCs in 2023 going into 2024? The cost and quality. Because we've had slight discussions about this, and I think
Uh,
So let it rip, man. Let it rip.
Oh, okay. Mm. 4 years ago, 5 years ago, the price was right. Now in 2022, 2023, the price is wrong for like every electric unicycle out there. For the money that you're paying, quite honestly, I think that EUC manufacturers could be giving you more.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I feel you. I do. I do. I've said that before. The prices are creeping up into motorcycle range. And you know because you have a
Oh,
motorcycle,
they're
right?
there. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're there.
Yeah.
You know, it's just they need to step their game up. I really think that they need to stop putting out so many different kinds of wheels that are basically full of jank. Okay, and they need to focus in on like about like a handful of wheels, maybe like
Mhm.
5 wheels, and really lock them down and don't bombard people with the same wheel, but five different major upgrades, something like
Yeah.
that. Just give us all the upgrades, work on a wheel for a while and perfect it, and maybe put out at least a good year's spread between releases.
I
You
I
know?
agree with that. Yeah, it's just now it seems like every month new wheel dropping. And the sad part is
Yeah.
like you go in and you read the forums and a wheel's 4 months old and people are considering it to be old. I'm like, "What? A wheel that's 6 months old is outdated already?" And I'm like,
Oh,
that
I
doesn't
know. I know. People are already throwing shade at the Sherman S, and it's only 6 months old,
yeah.
6 7 months. And
I don't agree with that. I mean,
it's
I'm
such a
sorry, go
good
ahead.
wheel. It's such
Mhm.
a good wheel. I love that Sherman. The Sherman is so smooth. Comparing like everything that Begode has done has been like a formula almost, right?
Mhm. Right.
And they don't seem to really get away from their formula much. Whereas Leaper Kim, they went from the Sherman, the original Sherman, which
Mhm.
kind of followed a Begode formula, but then when they went to the Sherman S, they changed the formula. They changed everything: the body structure, how the suspension works, how things were manufactured. That's why I'm really still sold on the Sherman S, because it's a definite, like it's a complete game changer when it comes to like quality and um like forward thinking when it comes to design.
Gotcha.
I was actually, the more I look at it every day, the more I ride it,
Mhm.
even though it's not the most powerful wheel in the world, it's got other things that really
Gotcha.
that lend to it, that just make it a cut above the rest. So we'll see how long that lasts, though.
No,
I
I
really
think
I want to get a links.
oh, man. Yeah.
Somebody
Oh,
send me a
so,
links.
Vibe said he ordered the links, and Dale said even I ordered the links, and we all know he says he's poor. Oh, dude, you're funny, man. Okay, so we got a question, and CJ, I'll leave this question directed towards you. Which company has the best engineers in your opinion? Because this will be an opinionated question. So, what do you what?
Uh, well, I think that most of these companies have really good engineers. Um, I, they're all really good.
Okay.
I really can't say anything bad about them. I mean, I haven't really seen any engineers in
Mhm.
motion up front live or anything like that, or
Right.
doing what they
Right.
do. But I mean, obviously the fact that they're giving us this crazy product that we're riding around on,
Mhm.
that they got to be doing something right.
Right, right. No, I can agree with that. I think maybe if they're asking like what wheels, if you're looking for performance, safety, that type of thing.
Well, okay, so if you want to go with tried and true, which might not necessarily be a good thing. You can
Mhm.
always count on Bagode for like pushing something out.
Performance,
But believe me, before you ride any of it, I really advise that you take an Allen key to everything. You
tighten it
know,
up.
right?
Yeah, yeah, definitely tighten everything up on it.
But
That's good.
Leaperkim is like the company that I look at the most, and I'll give a little creds to InMotion for some of the stuff that they've been doing. As for King Song, no,
Yeah, man. I don't know. Well, that's
I don't feel
Vibes.
good
Well,
about
Vibes
King
says
Song.
veteran and emotion. So I guess you two are rocking on the same page. Uh, I don't know what happened to King Song. I think with the S22, after that whole
They never, King Song is like they thrive in this like consumer market where like Bagode is trying to go with like prosumer.
Mhm.
And the same thing for Leaperkim. They're pushing for the prosumer market, the professional market. I think King
Right.
Song tries to keep it on the low end.
No, like yeah. This is Garrett Taylor. He says the link seems so different from the S, like tall and skinny. I guess I might be trying to talk myself out of it. The only thing that I would say about the links would be the battery watt hour. It's 2,700 watts, and then you have the high voltage. And if you are a high speed rider, I believe you'll rip through that battery.
Yo, you're going to because I think they're 50 E
You're gonna
battery.
rip through it. I don't know if they're coming out with the 50Ss. I'm not sure,
Oh no,
but
they are. I'm sorry, I take that back. It is the 50S.
right.
I think they have the 50S batteries. One of the two is either the 50Es or the 50Ss. I think it's the 50S. It has a better discharge rate, so you
Right,
get the
right, right,
power you
right.
need. Yeah.
But that would be my only thing. I mean, I'm not a fast rider, so it wouldn't affect me. But like New York riders and some of the other faster ones, they're definitely gonna rip through that battery.
You're gonna want it to get out of the way,
Yeah,
right?
right.
You need that extra power to get out of the way because, like, if you're in a situation, a car's barreling down on you, yeah, you want that power to get out of the way. Either way, a 50E or 50S is gonna still give you enough power to pretty much get out of the way of anything these days. So.
Right. Well, the thing with like riding in New York and riding in New York and riding in, I would say, uh open environment places. Hopefully people understand what I'm saying. New York, you're not going to be going 60 miles an hour down any road, really. I mean, you got to be highly skilled. You understand what I mean? So you can get anywhere you need to go 25, 30 miles an hour in the city, 35 tops. I mean, you don't want to take a hit a manhole cover or a pothole or something in New York. So having top end speed in New York is really not that necessary. That's why you still see a lot of riders rocking 100-volt wheels, and they still get up there. The EXN will do 50 miles an hour. You can do 40 plus miles an hour on a Nikola Sherman. You can
Well,
still
yeah,
rock
yeah. You
on
really
it.
can't. You can't. I mean, you're in New York. Your riding isn't really about speed. It's more about avoidance.
Avoidance.
You can't go. You really can't go fast in New York
You
because the
they get up
density.
and
Yeah.
go. I'm not gonna say they're
Oh
not
yeah.
riding quick, but it's not the same as like riding out in Cali where you're on a straight like bike path
Right.
or on a mountain pass. It's completely different. You will
Yeah.
get yourself foobarred up in New York very quickly,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
Vibes can contest to that because he rides the streets probably more than I do. So you really got to be on your P's and Q's when you're riding in New York. So it's not always about raw speed. You definitely need something that's nimble.
It's like technical riding.
Yeah,
It's probably almost as technical as riding trails because you're looking out for trees too, and you're looking out for people in the big city. You know.
yeah.
It'd make me nervous riding in New York. I just can't do it. I'm not gonna do it. No,
One day you'll come.
maybe,
Yeah, you'll you have to. Hold on one second. Let me
maybe if
make
I'm
sure.
forced, right?
Hold on. Make
The
sure my
end of the
phone.
world is coming,
Oh, I don't say that. We still got riding to do.
so I'll be riding through New York looking for food.
Stop
Something
in
like that,
Jersey. I got
right?
you, man. I
Right.
got you. Let's look at again, thank everyone for coming in who just jumped into the stream. Make sure you go give CJ a follow on his channel and definitely hit the like button. So we got another question here from George. What are
Right.
the limitations to putting a fast A suspension on a V14 in motion? Shot themselves in the what? Shot themselves in the tire when they didn't put a full dual suspension on
On
the
the
adventure,
adventure, huh? So it's like a single air shock.
like a linkage style, like the master, I guess you would say.
Yeah.
But
I don't
it's
know. So well,
I
I
get
think
you have
yeah,
to
go ahead.
ride it though first.
I think the adventure is just. I looked at the adventure and kind of went, "Oh, it's a more of the same
Yeah,
with
it's like
different
their version
colors."
of the extreme.
It's like what they did with the V11. You have the original V11, and then in order to update it, you have the V11 with like orange stripes on it.
The V11Y.
Yeah.
Yeah, the V11Y.
So, but nothing's changed. Just some neat colors.
Yeah, if you want to, George, if you want to see some really great content on the V14, go check out Johnny Vroom. He put out some really great videos on the V14, so I would check that out.
Now, are
Oh,
they talking the V15 now, aren't they?
oh, dude, you know it's coming. It might be done. It might be done already, man.
No, I think it is.
It might be done already. So this is from Vibes. He's asking, how do you like the K6?
Love it. It's awesome. Love it. Except, okay, so my real opinion is I've had to do too much to get it to the point where I love it. Right? For the amount of money that I paid, okay, I've had to do too much.
Mhm.
And that's my issues with Bagode. I will say that Leaper Kim is providing a little more out of the box, although they've gotten a little cheap on the cheap side in their production run of the Sherman S. And it's because they're focusing in on the links, and so I don't blame them too much on that one.
Right.
But Goat, man, I don't know. As much as I like Goat's top end, I was really disappointed in the K6. That's supposed to be top end. They're giving me a 29 2,900 watt hour battery, or maybe it's a 26. No, I think it's a 29. And the actual battery case can hold more batteries. So I
Yeah,
ripped I
dude.
ripped the 4800 off watt hours off of a V1,
Mhm.
and ripped out the batteries in my K6 through the 4800 into the K6, and now I'm real happy because I've got more range and I've got more high speed, top end runs. So, like, if I want to go down the highway at 60 mile an hour, which this machine can do for you,
That
I
thing
can
will get up and go.
I can do that more often with more battery that I have.
Right.
Okay, of course at the expense of long distance. Whereas with the 2,900 watt hour battery, like I'll be able to get like 260, maybe 360 mile 60 mile runs with maybe a 5 mile distance.
Mhm.
But after that, it would be like, I don't know, like 20 miles at most. I'm done. I'm riding the rest of the way at 35 mile an hour.
I
You
got
know,
you. I got you. Yeah. I mean, that
so
makes sense that you have
I think
that
Bago could be giving us more. I really do.
for the money. Now that I
Yeah.
mean, it makes a lot of sense. And honestly, who would know better? You got a wicked Begode stable, and you've tinkered around and opened them all up, so you know what's in there.
I
So Dale, I'm sorry, we're gonna have to, with this question is Dale says the King Song had heaps of problems with the S22, but the rest of the wheels are awesome. Okay, all right. I know
mm,
I rode the S18. I actually liked it. I mean, if you weren't trying to overpower the wheel, I thought the S18 was very comfortable from
what was before the S18?
King Song. What else did King Song have? The
I think I had an S18 at one time.
did you? You might have, dude. Yeah, you did. You did
I
have
think
an
I
S.
did. I gave it away.
You gave that one away. You gave
I
that
gave
one
it.
away.
Yeah, I gave it to the kid down the road, and he
You
rode the
did.
crap out of it until it literally had no tire left on it.
So this is what George said. I love the V14, but the stench could be better. I would still like to actually demo that wheel too, the V14. It looks like it'd be fun, man. Looks like it'd be
Didn't
fun.
didn't Don Chapman ride that wheel real fast, or was that the V13?
I think that was the V13, but they did do a nice, thorough, ride. Her, Roger, Marty, with the V14 and the links, and they put it through its paces. I mean, I think they all like the links better, if I'm not mistaken. Don't quote me on it, but I think they all like the links better. But still, the V14 is I mean, I wouldn't they sent me one, I wouldn't turn it down, you know.
I think that the Lynx is like kind of like an updated patent. You know,
It is. That's all it is. I believe that's all it is an updated
I
patent.
you
Maybe what
know
the patent should have been, you know.
I hope that Leaper Kim doesn't get into the habit that Begode has gotten into. You know what I'm saying? Where they just keep pumping out wheel after wheel, and each wheel iteration is, oh, it's the new wheel. No, it's just the same wheel with an upgrade.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. It's I mean, because the market's already getting, I think, a little bit too flooded. Um, DuPont says the Lynx is overpriced for what you get unless you unless you want to show off. I think it's a little high. I
This
do,
is like
and you
4K,
already stated
right?
that. Yeah, it's over 4K.
Oh my God.
It's over 4K. And see, we talked about this the other day. If a wheel is, let's just say we're gonna throw a price. If a wheel was $3,000, you're gonna have to put at least another $300 into it to get it to where you like it. Maybe a little more, because most people upgrade the pads. A lot of people change the pedals. So you're paying over $200 for pedals, and you're paying over $200 for pads. Or if you have to get the whole fairing systems, those things aren't cheap. So you're looking at
Yeah.
like $400 to $500 on top of what you had already paid on a wheel. It's not cheap, man. It's not.
Well, if you look at too, if you look at like the how much battery that you're getting for the money, throw away everything else and just look at the battery. How much are you paying for the batteries?
Mhm.
You know, because everything else is just parts,
Part.
basically.
Yeah, yeah, makes sense. Quality cost, yeah. But even then, though, this is my gripe with electric unicycles. If you pop those things open, there's not much in it. You got a
No,
controller,
no, there's nothing.
battery, and a motor. You know what I mean? It's not like a motorcycle where you have all these different spark plugs and all this type of, you don't have all that stuff.
No, I know. I popped mine open. I was expecting like a hamster and a wheel in there too, right?
Right?
Right. There's got to be more to this.
Yeah, it's not, like I said, it always reminds me of those slot cars when I was a kid. That's basically what it is.
You take the batteries off, and then the whole thing gets like real light. Like, oh, well, this isn't so bad. It's the batteries.
It's the
Holy
freaking
smokes!
batteries,
You
dude.
know. Okay, so they had the update for the battery boxes on the V1. It came with plastic boxes, and so they're like, well, okay, we'll ship you out the boxes. It's like $40, and so as soon as I put the metal boxes and did the whole switcheroo thing, like the V1 went up like, oh, I don't know, it must have been like 20 pounds or some crazy amount. It's just
Yeah.
got a whole lot heavier.
Yeah. Motor's heavy too. I noticed that when I took the Tesla apart, I was surprised how heavy that freaking motor was.
That's the
Notice?
other thing too, is the weight. Okay, so I'm kicking at like 213 on
Mhm.
kind of on average, 210, 213.
Body weight.
And so these units, like my Sherman S is like pretty much 100 pounds. All right.
Mhm.
And that is at the point where I'm pretty comfortable like moving it around. And that's heavier than the original Sherman, which when I got it, I thought that was a heavy
Yeah,
bad
it's
boy.
like 77 pounds, I believe, the
Right.
original Sherman.
That's nothing compared to these new machines.
Oh,
All
not
right.
at all. No,
And
it's light.
I'll tell you right now that the Master Pro, which I literally have not ridden yet, sort of kind of ridden it, but that thing feels really good. Seems like I can manipulate it around really well.
Mhm.
But that's even heavier than anything. It's the heaviest thing that I've
Yeah,
got,
that thing's it's
you
yeah,
know.
it's heavy.
And it makes me a little. It kind of, I already know that when I'm moving down the road, the weight isn't there anymore. But the things that I worry about are like when I'm coming to a stop and I gotta like move around people or go into a building. This thing is heavy enough that if I drop it on somebody, it's gonna hurt.
Yeah,
You
give
know,
give yourself some room
right?
when it comes to stopping. Vibe says here, I got the links up to like 42. That's because I was told not to push it too hard. Yeah, so it'll definitely get up and roll. I mean, that will
Uh,
def and he did that in New York
Roger had
City.
it faster.
Huh?
Roger had it all the way up to like 50 or something like that.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Roger had that thing pushing, but I'm just saying for right 42 in New York City is that's you're hauling depending on where you are. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So what we're gonna do, we are going to let's move on to another question. Okay.
Okay.
So uh if there was, let me see. Let me make sure I got this right. If there was one thing that you could change right now about EUCs, what would it be? If there's something that's just ticking you off about what would you change?
Mm. Well, I think everybody knows everything that I'm already gonna say. When it comes to just like, oh, I don't know, what do you ask me? Something that I would change. Gosh, it's really hard to. Something that I would want more research and development done here in the United States in case um, there comes a point where relationships with China bring us to the point where we can't actually get any more electric unicycles. I don't want to
Nice.
run out because I enjoy riding so much.
That's good. And actually that will kind of blend into the next question. So we'll kind of merge these two together. Do you feel that an American company needs to enter the EDC manufacturing race, if you want to call it a race? And do you feel that it is possible that it could exist an American company in the EUC market today? Do you think it can be done?
Yeah,
I
Elon
do
Musk
too.
is building cars down in Arizona, wherever he's at. He's making his own batteries.
Yeah, it can be done.
He's making his own frames. He's doing his own manufacturing. Yes, anything can be done here in the United States.
Well, that's another
Why aren't we
it's
doing
not
it?
issue, but EUCs were developed, they were made here.
Well, yeah, yeah, they were done here.
They were done
And,
here. Solo wheel,
yeah.
you know.
So what's stopping us? We all love we love the whole sport and the whole hobby. So let's take it a step further. Let's actually do some serious manufacturing.
Well,
You
I
know,
think what I always hear is that the price will actually go up, but I kind of disagree with that. I think there's ways to keep the prices down.
I'm not worried about the price. You know why? Because we'll figure out a way to bring the price down. Um, you know, that's with everything. There's always going to be that research and development, and
Hmm.
you got to get your product. But then, and all of the great advances in technology these days have allowed us to manufacture all kinds of stuff and bring that price way down. I mean, look at look at Clark pads. Okay, he's making something in his facility with 3D printers. That's awesome. you know. So there's all kinds of machines out there, metal cutting machines, laser machines. It's anything. The sky's the limit. So I think it's just a matter of people getting committed to it, and
Uh-huh.
maybe taking this, taking electric unicycles as a legitimate some kind of a sport. Now I know some people are gonna say, "Oh yeah, well it already is," but it's not at the level of where anybody's manufacturing their own vehicles for the sport of racing, kind of like
Right, right.
NASCAR. They make all their own cars. It's not like you're going to go down to your local Ford dealership and pick up a NASCAR.
Nah,
Oh yeah,
right.
I want a NASCAR style car or something like that. No, they're going to be like, no, sir, you're going to have to make that in your garage. And like anything that we do here in America, it's always like in the garage. Even computers, like look at Apple Computer, started in a garage. You know,
Right.
um, so I think it's just a matter of getting people really, really hardcore serious about it, getting some donors. There, people do race,
Mhm.
but if I don't know if anybody's ever noticed, but all the races that go on, are all consumer grade wheels. They're not professional racing wheels.
I
They're
see what you're saying. It's not like, it would be like just going down and get a production car, and you're racing a production car in a sense.
Yeah, it's like, well, I watch out there like the Apple Valley, the videos on YouTube, and I got one guy racing a Sherman S against like a Master Pro or a Master, or
Mhm.
or somebody's out there with a like a Nikola Plus trying to race around the track. You know, no, they're all something that we bought. They weren't machines that were specifically designed
For
just to
racing.
do that. Yeah,
I
and I
think
think,
some riders do, do certain things and try to tinker around a
oh
bit,
yeah,
but
mod, yeah.
yeah, mod it up a bit, but the majority of the stuff is just bone stock. You might change a tire or something like that, but pedals, but most people are just racing bone stock. Um, George is saying if anyone has an EXN or RS and Alien Rise is practically giving away the shells on their ongoing Black Friday sale. That might be a good idea to actually get it next year because I have an RS.
No doubt.
I have an RS. Let's see what else we got here. Oh man, we got a lot of comments. Let's take a breather. Let's try to get through some comments here. Um, Stan says, "Isn't the new technology worth the upgrade versus old EUCs because of the safety curve?" You know what? I will say I'm gonna split down the middle because I still see people wrecking and cutting out even on the newer ones. So I I don't know about
Yeah.
that one. I think I see more wrecks today than I did when I started. So
Yeah, if you're gonna crash, you're gonna crash. Doesn't matter how much you
yeah,
spin
dude,
on
that's
it.
yeah.
You know,
Dude, if you're gonna hit it, you're gonna hit it. That's
and the honest to God about the technology. Okay, so the technology was already invented, and then they just fixed all the little things like, oh, we're gonna add some fuses here. We're gonna add some smart battery BMS. We're gonna make this little modification. So yeah, maybe the safety goes up, but there comes a point where sometimes you just don't want all that safety crap on your electric unicycle, because riding an electric unicycle is supposed to be dangerous and exciting. You
yeah,
know, that's
yeah,
why a lot of us do it, because I don't know, maybe we lack sense, or we have a death wish, or we're really, really stupid and we're just adrenaline junkies, which is really no different than, let's say, guys that go parachuting all the time,
yeah,
you know?
yeah. Um, Devon says, I just got myself a second OG Sherman. Dude, I love the OG Sherman.
No doubt.
I still think that is one of the best wheels ever made. I do. That thing,
I hated mine.
I
I
oh you
hated it
dude,
too.
I love it. I did put a V3 rim on it.
It needed it. It needed
Yeah.
something different.
But oh, I didn't tell you what happened with that. So what happened, I think I would put air in a tire and the tire would just sometimes unseat itself. And I would, and it would get the little, and I was whipping down the road, man. And I always say that thing started shaking and I was at the rodeo. And I was like, dude, I'm gonna come off this thing. And I'm like, I said, no, I'm not coming off. Don't jump off. And I rode it. I rode out the wobble. But then after that, I kind of put it up. I ordered the rim and I got the rim put on and then a tire. And it's just like,
It needed to be fixed.
yeah. So
It really did. I don't have that kind of option. I'm not close to any stores, UCs. Like, I'm middle Tennessee is where I'm at. And I'm literally the only one of the few people out here in Middle Tennessee that rides an electric unicycle. I mean, there's not probably a person within 100 miles of me, which is
mhm.
kind of weird. It's picking up a little bit, but so yeah, I sold my OG and to Charles here, and he fixed it. So
Dude,
I'm
I
glad that it's
appreciate you
working.
for that, dude. I love that thing. I'm not if I had to get rid of anything, I would get rid of my RS and I would get rid of my Tesla. I would keep the OG Sherman. I would. That thing is it's a go-to wheel, man. Does
Well,
everything well.
you know what was kind of cool though? So I sell it to you, I ship it out to you, and then you're like riding it around in like downtown New York, and I'm just sitting here watching your video thinking, oh, that's so cute. My Sherman made it all the way to New York. Look at it. Got a vacation. Maybe I need a vacation,
You do. You need to come up, man.
Right?
Yeah, that thing's been on the NYC streets quite a few
Oh
times.
my God, gosh. Oh, look at it like it's a different person now. Like, hi, how you been? I know some things now, right? I'm I'm a,
Vibes saying
I'm a city
he's a
unicycle.
city boy now.
Yeah.
B-15, what, dude? Yeah, they probably got that thing ready to go, sitting in some secret warehouse, man. I'm telling you, they're always ahead of themselves. These wheels.
Oh, I heard some talk about it, but I cannot pull from my brain where I heard this talk.
Okay, so we got this one from Dale. I used to joke about power pads and suspension being riding aids for those who can't ride without them, but now I won't even consider a non-suspension wheel. No, it may, dude. It's yeah. I mean, of course, there's a difference. I mean, I still like the feel again, the road feel of a non-suspension wheel, but when you ride suspension, it's definitely going to be better. That'd be like riding your car without suspension. It's huge difference, huge difference. But I
Well,
still like
you,
the
you know what though? You know what though? It's just a difference. This is what the conclusion that I'm coming to. Sure, it'll save you in a pothole here and there, but I've jumped back on the non-suspension wheel, something that's got a good tire on it, and I don't know, it's different. I don't think that I think sometimes the suspension gets boring.
You
You know
know,
what I'm saying?
Flip said that. If you watch, yeah, Flip said the same thing. He's like, he went back to non-suspension. He felt that the suspension wheels got kind of boring. So I can, I like the sport car feeling of a wheel, if that makes sense. I like the tight. My thing is, I would like my suspension tight more so if I do hit something, it's going to absorb it, and I don't want this feeling where I'm just like a kangaroo or jackrabbit bouncing around all over the place. Because watching videos, I notice a lot of riders do not have their suspension set up properly. And I've watched videos where you see people go over a pothole and turn, and the suspension just goes down, and they kind of like do one of these things and just know, yeah, you got to take time to set all that stuff up. And I don't think some riders do that. That's my opinion.
Yeah, and now that you say that, I would have to say that I think that the out of the box experience, I think that really needs to be improved with like most EUC companies. Now I know that the retail guys like like eWheels and Alien Rides and some of the other ones, Free Motion Shop and a few of them, they take a little bit of time to try to like EVs. They'll if they got something special going, they'll make sure that what's coming out of the box is kind of tuned to their
Mhm.
specifications, and but they some of them do it, some of them don't. A lot of times they just tell like the manufacturer, we want this and this and
I
this,
got you. I got you.
like that. Throw some stickers in the box and call it good. They try a little bit, but yeah, I think the out of the box experience could really be a lot better. You know, especially when you have new riders coming in,
Yeah.
because they don't know all the kind of things that we know.
Hmm.
What you got to do, and all that. I mean, they'll learn, but all they want to do, they just want to get it out of the box and ride
Get
it.
it out the box and ride and
Yeah.
ride it. And yeah, Spartacus, I agree with you, dude. You know, OG Sherman is the way. I love that thing, dude. I do. I don't know what it is. It feels good. Feels balanced. OG Sherman's going for about 1,400 used in California. Good deal, but I need
Oh.
suspension. Okay. I'm trying to let's just skip through some more of these questions. Spartak. Okay. Yes. Nowadays it's about what you need, not what you want. I can't keep up. Yeah, I can't. It's hard to keep up with all the
Yeah.
wheels. It's tough. It really, really is. Oh, let's go here. Vibes is saying I disagree with electric unicycle. The only Kingston wheel I like is the S22 Pro. My only gripe, I say the gripe that I had with the S22 when I rode it. Now I rode the original S22.
The one
It
that blew
seemed,
up.
yeah, I believe, yeah, that was I actually rode that one. I
It
actually
was
rode
the
that one
S. It
before.
was the S something or other. It was not the S22. What was it called?
It was the S20.
The S20.
I think it was the S20, right? Yeah, it was the S20. I
And
believe it
then
was.
what they called the S22 to try to make the
Yeah, they
horrible
changed the whole
thing
number.
go
You
away.
know,
Right. It blew up.
you're
I
not
was going to
tricking
change the
anybody.
number. Right.
You know, but yeah, I think that's exact wheel. I rode that wheel before it went up in flames, but it was wide. It was a little bit wide for me. That's
Did
why I
you
said
think it was wide?
I think so. For me, it felt wide. It did.
Hmm. I think I thought the original Sherman was wide when I got on it when I got off the V11. I'm like, oh, this is wide.
Oh,
Okay,
V11 skinny
and then
compared
they
to a
got
lot of those.
right, yeah, and then they start getting wider. And now
Mhm.
they're it's crazy.
Yeah, yeah. I think the V11 feels good. Um, the what
That's
else?
why you don't want to put no more pads on it too. That's why I ripped all the pads off the Master Pro V2. The
Mhm.
pads on that thing are stupid. They're like 5 pounds worth of rubber, dude. What are you gonna?
Right. That's a lot of extra weight on there too. They was saying the smaller budget wheels are the best on the market. You're like sound like
Uh,
the T4. I still think the Mini Pro is one of the best buys you can get out there, man. I still think the Mini Pro is a really good deal on a wheel. The S18, the first suspension wheel period, but before that was the the 18S, the 18XL, I believe. That was Kingston, the 18XL. That was a really good wheel. The 18XL. I almost bought that one before I bought the Tesla.
Now, Sensei, what's a good wheel going on now? What I looked at a few of them, so I got my opinion about uh, uh, beginner wheels. Let's talk about beginner wheels.
Beginner wheels. Okay. We're gonna go suspension, non-suspension, or it doesn't matter.
Like what's happening now? New suspension and non-suspension, both.
Okay.
Let's include both.
All right. I would say a good beginner wheel, I would go, okay. I'm gonna go and work my way up. Work my way up, okay? I would say two great wheels to learn on non-suspension is a V10F and a Tesla T3 if you can find one. If you can find, I think E will still the
No,
best
no,
one.
I'm saying you have to be able to buy one now.
No, you can still buy the
You
T3.
can buy them,
Yeah, you
but I
can buy it
mean,
off.
but are
Yeah,
they advertised like crazy, like all the other ones? Like
I
I'm
don't.
talking about the top dogs that got a picture for them on the website. You go to eWheels or Alien Rides or
It's
any
there.
of the places.
T3,
Is it
T3 still, yeah, it's still there. T3
okay?
still there, and the V10, V10F. I think those are
Okay,
great wheels to start out with, even though they don't have suspension. Think about it, man. You can get a T3 has a 1500 watt hour battery on that thing, and it's only 84-volt, but still, you ride that thing all freaking day long.
right.
Yeah, you can do 32 miles an hour in a Tesla.
Now, for a little bit, when I was at the stores, I saw like it was a few months ago or something. They didn't have nothing. Nothing was in stock. It was hard to find anything, but I
Mhm.
guess I looked last night, and it seems like they're getting a lot more things in. They have a lot more stuff they did. Like eWheels is now selling a Nikola Plus right now. And I'm like, wow, wow.
Yeah.
And that in my mind, I think that the Nikola Plus is a really excellent beginner wheel.
Yep.
It's got a nice big battery in it. It's not suspension. It's got a great tire on it. It's easy to put power pads on it if you want.
And you can ride it through anything, rain,
Yeah,
sleet, shine. It doesn't matter. The Nikola is still, to me, it's still a unicorn of a wheel, man. It's freaking amazing.
I thought that they stopped making them, but apparently eWheels is selling them now.
Yeah, they're
So
selling
get
them.
them. Yeah, get them while they're hot.
V11, the
V11.
V11 right now is still a really good wheel,
You
and you
you
can get
think
a
that the
great deal on
V11
them.
is still good?
Pardon me?
You think that the V11 is still a good choice for
Yep.
people to start?
Yep. I
Now,
still,
why it's an 84-volt wheel and it's an 18-inch wheel and it has dual suspension on it, air suspension. Um, you can get a seat for it. The
hmm
the power pads are a little difficult to work with because of how the suspension is set up on,
Right, right.
but it's manageable. Comparing that to, let's say, the A2, the Begode A2. Now that's an 84-volt wheel. What else? 720 milliamp or watt hour battery.
Right.
It's uh, like a 16. It's an actual true 16-inch wheel, like
Mhm.
from rubber to rubber. So it's not like oh, it's 16 rim and an 18-inch tire. No,
Right.
it's 16. So what do you think about like smaller wheels like that?
No, I think there's a people need you need those wheels. Everyone doesn't want some big massive wheel. And I think manufacturers, hopefully they're starting to see that because we had talked about this before. Everybody doesn't want a 100-pound wheel. And people say, "Oh, I can ride it." Yeah, you can ride it, but after about 20 miles, that 100 pounds becomes heavy. It
It's not
becomes
fun
heavy.
anymore. Yeah.
And depending on your body weight, like if you're a smaller rider trying to whip around that Monster Pro, eventually, you know, think about it. It gets heavy, dude. So there definitely has to be some smaller wheels out there for riders that don't want to be riding around on these megaton wheels.
So something that's under $1,200. I would say anything that's like $1,200 or less. Is there anything? Or are they all so expensive?
Dude, I don't even know what you can get, mate. What's the M10 for? A2. I don't even know what the prices are on those right now.
Yeah,
I know the A2 is you're riding about $1,200 maybe. That might be
or
borderline 12 or 1,300 maybe.
$1,400. I mean, how
Jeez.
much money you don't want to spend on your kid at a certain point? You know, it's like new clothes on a baby. You know, you buy them 3 months later, the kid's already big. You gotta buy more bigger clothes. I mean, how do you buy an electric unicycle for a kid who's growing? I mean, this kid's gonna be in what, 5, 6 months? He's gonna be another 3 inches taller, right? You know, and
Right,
he's gonna
right.
say, "Hey, Dad," or "Hey, Mom, I want a new electric unicycle," and Mom's thinking, I just spent $2,500 for this kid, but
Facts.
so that is a hard deal because, and you know that, as everybody knows, is when you get into electric unicycles, you're addicted. There's
100%.
no stopping. You know, nobody ever says I don't ever want to ride again, even after a crash. You know, so it's just too fun. It's awesome.
Hold a second. Sprite says, Sensei, what are you drinking? On, got to plug the sponsor. I'm not
Yeah,
plugging
what are
their
you drinking?
sponsor, Sprite, because they're not paying me nothing. But I'm drinking
Yeah,
a ginger beer. I'll plug it. I don't even give a
a
darn.
ginger beer.
Yeah. I don't
Is
know.
that
Hold on a second. I always do stuff backwards
is
here. Hold
that
on.
alcohol? Is that alcoholic?
No, no,
Oh,
no.
well,
It's not alcoholic.
but it's,
A little something to wet my whistle.
get you
Yeah. Yeah. See?
right.
Uh, hold on a second. Okay. Wait. They had a really good. Did I put this up here? Wait a minute. I was looking at it. I am so sorry, guys. Hold on a second.
Sees all
I,
that ginger beer drinking.
I know, man. I'm getting hold on a minute. I lost my place here. He had put on Dale had put up a really good. Oh, here we go. Right here. But the quality vibes 14D, 16X. I love the 16X, 18XL. 18XL is still a beast. And so is the 16X. Now they have the S16 coming out. Basically, it's the 16X with suspension. They have an S16 and S16 Pro, and they have suspension.
And this is the what in
King
motion?
Song.
Oh, King Song.
Yeah. I actually thought about because I've always been a fan of the 16X, but the more I look at it, the wheel might be just a little bit too small for me.
Give me your honest opinion about King Song. How do you
Well,
feel about King Song? Like as a company,
well, this is my thing.
are they competing? I mean, are they actually in the competing game with the other two companies out there? You think?
My issue with King Song, they had put so much development, and I don't want to say the company's rep, but they put a lot on the line with the S20. And when they had that mishap with the
Yeah,
S20,
that hurt
I
them.
think that really set them back. And I think if they were smart, they would have taken the S18, keep what people loved about it, and some of the things that they didn't like, and just upgrade the S18 instead of jumping to the S20 or S22. I would have went that route before making those big strides. And I think the
Yeah,
S20 set them back. I think that was a major hit to the company, and they had to try to rebound from that. But the wheels prior to that, like Dale said, the 14D, 16X, 18, the 18S and 18XL, those were solid wheels, man. They were solid
yeah.
wheels. It was just that S20 after that fire, dude. They took a major hit.
I just felt like the King Song made more electric unicycles that were geared for more people that have a different like frame style, like a smaller. They're. It's kind of like you hear somebody say, "Oh, those American folks, they're so much bigger," and
Oh, I see what you're saying.
granted, like, yeah, usually Westerners are like bigger framed, larger, more weight, stuff like that, in compared to like Asian writers. And I always felt like King Song kind of geared most of their equipment towards like Asian writers and didn't really take into consider larger American writers. I think at one point that they did, because I think that they got a lot of feedback from it. And
Mhm.
my experience on the S18 was when I got onto it, I felt like I was going to break it, you know?
I can understand that, but I will say this to back them up, though. When think about it, though, when unicycles first came out, they were considered micro mobility. So why would you want like a massive wheel? And I think as it progressed on, people wanted bigger and bigger wheels, but they were made for something you could put on a bus, put on a train, or yank out your trunk and go the last few miles. That's what it was for when they first came out. So I understand why they did what they did.
Yeah, very true. Very true.
Yeah, so I still think we need smaller wheels. Like for me, if I'm going into New York and I have to get on a bus, I'm not taking a Sherman. I'm not taking my RS. I'm going to take my Tesla, and I could take that thing on a bus and I could tuck it right between my legs and my seat, not disturbing anybody.
I took the
And
M10 man, right?
you can do that with the M10
I,
too. Yeah,
I saw Sean riding around downtown New York on
yeah,
that thing.
yeah.
So,
So again, I think there's a time and a place and a purpose for each wheel. You just have to know what you're looking for before you make that purchase. Do you want a commuter wheel? Then stick with one of the lower weight wheels. Do you want a range wheel? Then you go, you know what I mean? Then you get you something maybe with some suspension and a higher battery, but you have to know what your riding style is. Like think of the people that do the freestyle riding, the 360s and 720s. You're not gonna be doing that on the EX30. You want a smaller wheel like the V10F or a 14D or something where you see them splitting the wheels, 1 foot on each wheel and doing all kind of stuff.
oh,
So yeah, that's not for me. I'm not trying
I
to
can't do
bust
that.
my
I'll
back.
hurt myself, right?
Dale, you know what, dude? My only gripe with I have two gripes about the S19. One is the way that the pads are. I already ride two straight up and down. And I'm tall. So the way those pads are for me, I'm gonna be riding like a freaking tree on it. And the other thing is just the price. It's like $2,800, the S19. If the S19 was like 2 grand, I think they would sell way more units than being at $2,800. That's my biggest problem. It's just, well, more so the price of it. I think it's just priced too high. But the wheel's getting good reviews, but it's just priced too high. I'd buy a Mini Pro before I'd buy the S19. That's just me though. They need to lower the price.
What else you got?
Hold on a second.
What do
We
you
got a
got?
ton. Dude,
Okay.
we got a ton of questions, man. So I'm gonna ask you another question, then I'm gonna kind of skip back down through
Okay.
the comment section here. So, all right, let's go here. All right, here we go. This is good. This is good. This is good. So, if a company contacted you, Emotion, Bago, Leaperchem, and they asked you, CJ, we want your specs for the next wheel coming out. We want to work with you exclusively to help us develop our next wheel. What would be your ideal specs? Weight, suspension on suspension, watt hour battery, what type of motor, what would you do? What would be all the goodies and trimmings that you would put on the wheel if it was no holds barred, the sky's the limit to make the next wheel? What would be your design and specs?
Hmm, man. Uh, you know, I think that I would focus in on weight. I would want to figure out how to bring the weight down.
Okay.
I mean, if there was a focus on anything, I'd want to bring that weight down because I want a wheel that's really nimble, but I get a lot of distance out of it. Um, because I have more fun on an M10-4 than I do on, let's say, my Sherman S. My Sherman S is like point A to point B, and maybe there's a little bit of fun in between, but not
Right.
much, just because it's a heavier wheel. I have way more fun on the M10-4. Um, what? Let's see, specs. Oh, I don't know. Maybe more redundancy, like double redundancy. Maybe some kind of, I don't know, maybe different algorithms
Okay.
for different writing styles. Like, for instance, I remember the Sherman, the original Sherman actually has some like weird kind of like turning. When you go into a turn, it wants to dip, like pedal dip. You'll get pedal dip
Gotcha.
on it, and but that's a software issue. That's like 100% a software issue. So yeah, I'd want to see better better firmwares, maybe better applications. Um, hmm, maybe different suspensions. I really wish that they would get away from this single air suspension with the
Yeah.
basically the scissor kit in the back. Get rid of that completely. Dual
But you're not a
suspension.
big fan of the linkage.
I hate the linkage. I
Okay.
mean, it works, it works, but it's not as smooth and silky like a freaking dual suspension on, like a Sherman, or like the Commander probably, which I haven't ridden, but I just know the feel. Like even the V11, okay, and that's a dual side by side air shock. That's way different than anything else,
Mhm.
you know.
Right.
So, but that side by side shock, that would be a big focus on anything that I would develop if I
Mhm.
was to develop. So that's just that check mark's done. That's already been decided. Um, I think maybe a seat for seated riders, like some kind of a, now, but go, they've now started trying to add like more of a seat kind of top, to sit, but their seats suck. I don't care. I mean, I got a big butt and I got a little bit of padding, but still it hurts riding for like 45 minutes on the damn thing, cruising. You got to get off every once in a while. And I've got, yeah, the Master Pro is too, yeah, the Master Pro is real heavy, you know. So like I said, I ripped like about 10 or 12 pounds off of that Master Pro V2 because of all the crap that they put on the brake is horrible. Or I mean, not the brake, the kickstand on it is horrible on
Okay.
the V2. The V1 kickstand was much better than the V1. So there's, just, you got to fix them. That's my whole issue. That's the other thing that I would want to work on. I if I'm going to design something, I want a better out of the box experience,
Mhm.
definitely, and really like tune in on all of focus in on the details. That's what I
Right.
want coming out of the box. That's the little things that matter to people that have been riding. Like people like me, who and Sensei, we know what is to be expected. So yeah, I want a unicycle coming out of the box that I don't have to like check all the screws and make sure everything's working and all that kind of stuff. Call me lazy. I mean, but other people don't know that that's what you need to do now, and that's how people get hurt,
Mhm.
So
Right, right.
it's horrible. It's horrible. Bookgood's quality control it's embarrassing.
Yeah, they definitely need to. I mean, I like Begode. Most of my wheels are Begode, but they have to work on the quality. Now, I did hear this. I was
They have
speaking with
gotten.
someone that has, let's just say, some pretty good pool, you know, and they said they finally had a chance to open up a hero. And they said they were impressed with the hero of how that thing looked on the inside. And they were probably saying that's probably why the thing cost so much when it came out at the time. Uh, it was really good quality on the inside of that thing and how they had it all set up.
I
But
think that the biggest problem, the biggest issue that these companies are having is devoting how much time they're going to devote to quality control, because the
mhm,
object is to basically manufacture as many of these units to make money. So they're trying to balance their quality control and the time spent doing that to how many of these units that they sell, and it's a real money making racket. That's just how it's going to be. So I don't, I really don't expect the quality control to get any better. Although they have improved, I will give Bagode that, and some of the internals on the boards have actually gotten much better from batch to batch. So I'll
Right.
give them that. But I hate being the guinea pig between batches. I just ugh, it's horrible.
That's what it's pretty much come down to. And this is what Stan has said. Isn't the cost is not that bad compared if the US had the ability to make them. I could see a US version being 20K. No, I disagree with that. I think there's ways to keep the cost down in America. There's
Oh yeah.
multiple ways to keep the cost down.
See,
And
it's the research and the development.
yeah,
That's it's the initial.
but ask yourself this, dude, it's already out there.
Yeah.
You understand? It's not like you're recreating a wheel. You're not. Everything is out there. So it's not like you have to take and make anything from scratch because the technology technically is old. These electric unicycles have been out for a while. For
Yeah.
a
I mean,
while.
Hall sensors have been around like since the beginning of time. And that's exactly what they're used for is measurement of wheel position and electronic boards and all that kind of stuff. They're all here. I mean, it's we could be doing that now here in the United States. Laser cutter, CNC machine, make your prototype, and then figure out how to manufacture or mass produce.
Right.
I think we could do it. It's not really an issue,
No,
And I
no.
think it would. What would be really cool? Okay, so the question you asked me earlier was, what would I really want if I could just design my own electric unicycle? I would love for Elon Musk to give me the batteries to put in the first electric unicycle manufactured here in the United States.
That would
That
be
would be
nice.
freaking awesome,
That
man.
would be awesome. The
Could I
thing is with Elon too, not that I know him personally.
could I
Hey, I
call
can
him
get
a could I call it could I put the Tesla logo on it?
I'll give him a call later and see what he says.
Right.
But the thing
Frank.
is, the thing is with him is he's on that wavelength as far as I hate using the term thinking outside the box, but you know what I mean? I don't see why he wouldn't. He's the same guy that made a flamethrower, a limited
Right.
edition flamethrower. You know what I mean? So
It'd
I
probably be just a matter of sending him a letter and saying, "Hey,
yeah,
man, can we get some of your batteries for our electric unicycle?" And he'll be like, "Electric unicycle? That's cool!" Because he
I
seems like the
honestly,
type of person that's into kind of weird, cool electronics and things.
if you rolled up to
You
him on a
know?
freaking electric unicycle and he hasn't seen one, I think
Oh,
the
he'd
dude would
love it.
be like, "What is that?" And ask him right on the spot, dude. We need to make one of these. Yeah,
I'm surprised that he didn't use dudes. He rented people who ride electric unicycles to do his opening for his Cybertruck.
but
Part of the attraction. I mean, Liberty Mutual, the insurance company's already made a commercial featuring electric unicycle riders. Cool.
Liberty Mutual, yeah,
Yeah.
yep, they did. They did. I do agree with that, Stan. A one wheel is overpriced. I do too. For what you get with the one wheel, it shouldn't cost that much. I think they're sort of price gouging people with that thing. I do. At
Are
one
we
point, I wanted a one wheel.
talking? You're talking the one wheel where you ride it like
Future
sideways?
motion. Yeah,
Future motion, yeah.
I think they could
Mhm.
work on the price a bit with that. I do.
What is it now? What are they charging for that thing?
It depends on what you're getting, but those things are top one is over 3 grand, I believe.
That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, it's over 3 grand. So
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me at all.
yes, we do, George. I agree with that. If that's EUC, yes, that control board where you can program it and put your own little magic into it.
Nah, I don't know about that electric unicycle.
Brandon.
Americans doing American things, thinking America is best.
Nah, I wouldn't. I
Yeah.
wouldn't go that far as saying thinking America's best. I think that competition is good. Healthy competition is good.
Yeah, man, we gotta have
Yeah,
some competition. There's no competition going on right
yeah, I
now.
think it's good. It would
You
be
know,
like I always like the old, and I'm dating myself here, the old David and Goliath races, like the old Mustangs versus the Minis. That type of, you know what I mean? If that makes any sense, the old races. Yeah, man, I like stuff like that. Or if you would go like the American companies, you would have the Mustang versus the Corvette. That was always good competition like that. So Oh, okay.
You're right, Mythbusters.
I did see. Yeah. Well, I did a whole rabbit hole dive on the EUC and where it was developed and stuff. It's on the it's I'll see if I can link it in this video if I remember to.
The electric unicycle was the technology. I think what that Dean Carmen guy with the Segway kicked it out, or was it the Chinese guy that did Solo Wheel? One of them actually had to design the algorithm. Like an example is once you have the algorithm that you basically embed into the electronics for
Mhm.
an electric unicycle, that's already been written. It's just it's an algorithm, and it's actually pretty standard. I think it's even open source, and you can take that algorithm and plunk it down into any kind of a silicon, like into a chip or a board, and make your own electric unicycle. It's not difficult. It's not hard. As a matter of fact, really good news. TMC chip manufacturer over in Taiwan is, I think, building a company in Arizona now to mass produce chips. I
Nice.
I think that a lot of, because of the worries of the fact that the United States at one point in time used to manufacture all of its computers and chips and all of that, and over time it all went to Asia just simply for the fact that it's cheaper production and manufacturing over there.
Production.
you
It
know,
is.
and Taiwan somehow became the big, super duper chip maker, which is the reason why China is fighting over Taiwan so much, because China wants to be able to, you know, have the ability to make its own chips. It's all about that fab. It's all about that facility that makes those chips, that makes everything run. So it's going to be nice that we finally might actually have some fabs here in the United States.
Mhm.
You know, what are you talking? Hydrofoil style pipes? Oh, I saw that. Like,
I
you
did
kind
see
of
it.
rock on it or something, and it like
Did
it.
I see that somewhere? I watch so much stuff, dude. I sometimes I
I love technology,
Me
man.
too. I'm a tech nut. Panel discussion would be good if it truly abandoned. Well, that's the thing with patents and everything. They only last for so long. And if you don't keep it up, someone can go in there and snatch it right out from under you. People don't understand that. Just because you make it, if you don't maintain it, there's vultures. I hate to call them vultures, but people just buzzing around the idea if they like it. And if they find it's open, they'll snatch that thing up, man. So you
Yeah,
have
and if you've learned anything from anybody that's selling you anything, yeah, they probably stole some IP too. So if you're in the game, you should be stealing it too, man. Making your own thing. Right. Solo wheel. Ninebot spent too long fighting over. Right. Original self balancing tech. They both dropped off. So right. Yeah.
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 Yeah,
And
man.
I was disappointed in Segway too. I was really irritated with Segway because they they actually introduced what, the Z10, right?
Dude, the Z10 to me is still one of the best quality wheels out there.
I
Now,
think you can still buy a Z10 on
you can
Amazon,
still buy
right?
it. Now, again, the tire, you have that 4-inch tire, so it's wide. You got to be careful with that thing. But as far as like the quality and stuff, dude, could you imagine where they would be right now if they stuck with that
It just stuck
Z10?
with it, yeah.
Dude,
Oh,
that thing would be top notch, man. I was kind of disappointed that they got out the game because I like that. I like the Z10. I really did. It was just the tire was just too wide on it, so it would track on you
it
bad, and
was
it was hard
it
to
was
turn.
different. It was
It was
different.
definitely different.
You had
It
to
was like the Batmobile
you got
of
to
an
learn to
EUC.
ride it different, you
Mhm.
know.
You had to lean more on that thing. If you didn't lean, it wasn't going anywhere.
I've got a V10 I've never ridden, actually.
Uh-oh. You got it. Next video. Next video.
I forgot about that one, man. I counted my electric unicycles today. I'm like, I got a lot of them, and then you maybe remind me that I got another one too. So yeah, that's crazy.
Talking about the batteries and the old models.
Yeah, the Z10 is where it all started. And the funny thing about the Z10 is if you buy one and you think you're going to get technical support on it, yeah,
No.
no.
You got to
Never.
be able to tinker with wheels. I'm sorry, I'm skipping through these questions kind of quick, man. There's a lot. I'm almost to the end. I want to thank everyone for being so engaged, man. This is awesome. If you haven't hit the like button, excuse me, wow, make sure you go and give CJ a follow. His channel is fantastic.
I bring a little bit here and there.
Hey, no, dude, you make good stuff, dude. Sorry, let me go back. Look at this one. Hold on, let me go with Spartacus here.
I'd say that the Lynx is the hot. I would say that the Lynx is the hot new
Oh, yeah.
unit that you want to get.
Look at that, man. He did 25,000. Wow, on his 16x kilometer. That's crazy.
What is that? Like
That,
250?
that's a lot of miles, dude.
That's a
That's
lot of miles. I can't even calculate that.
that's what? At least 14, about what is that, Dale? 14,000? At least 14,000 miles? Maybe 15? I would say closer to 16,000 miles, 15 or 16,000 miles, I believe.
Yeah, us Americans are still working on imperial. We just can't grasp metrics so good.
Well, Stan, they have the S16 coming out with suspension. I'm kind of curious to see how that goes. Yeah. Yeah, me and Dale about the same weight. He jumped to 14D. Dude, I'd be afraid to jump on that thing, man. I'd like, cut it off.
What? Really?
He's riding M10 form book last night, and it was not fun. I fell twice. Can barely ride on the uneven sidewalk with the little thing. Yeah, that's the thing about the M10 Ford. The streets in New York are brutal, dude. They're brutal, and it would be only due time till you get knocked off that thing.
It's got a knobby on it.
Yeah, but I'm just talking about the terrain. Yeah, it'd be a little rough. I'm not saying you can't do it, but I wouldn't feel too secure out in the street riding.
The A2 might be a better choice with a knobby.
Yeah, it's a bigger wheel.
It's
It's a
a
bigger
bigger
wheel.
wheel. It's the same battery and same voltage and all that,
It's a
but
bigger
it's
wheel.
physically bigger.
And a little more has more weight to it too, so it'd be more
Bigger
stable.
wheel. Yeah, I think it's like a 15-inch wheel, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
I was looking at it. I'm looking at it. I gotta stop looking at them, man.
Nah, dude. Keep
I need
being you, man.
I
Don't
need
stop
to
being you.
I need to sell a couple of them.
We'll
I've come
talk
to
about
the.
that.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
We'll get to that. Stan, I don't know, man. As far as the extreme, did it live up to the hype? I don't know. I don't know, man.
Which was the one that Chooch crashed?
That was the extreme.
Yeah,
That
right.
was the extreme. He was moving on that wheel though.
He
See,
was pissed though. He was
but this
pissed
is the
about
thing,
it.
right? When I was looking at the video, and then I looked at the aftermath of what people were saying. If you look at the lines and you could go by how fast he was going, passing the lines, all you had to look at was how Chooch was pulling away from that truck.
Right.
When he leaned into it, I was like, damn, he's moving on that wheel. And next thing you know, he's making some chin music down on the ground. But he was hauling on that wheel, dude. He was moving. He was moving. So I don't know, dude. It still gets good reviews. I don't know if it lived up to the hype, but do most wheels live up to the hype? I don't know. I don't know. I guess it
Most
depends on the rider,
most of it's hype.
you know. Yeah, it says the extreme seems awesome. It would get let's see. It would get the 50S, he said. And the spring, since I'm big though. Same thing with the Master Pro seems to be. Oh yeah, they have a V4 Master coming in January. Okay, that light though, the lack of waterproofing. Yeah, they definitely need to work the waterproofing a bit. But it might be better on the V4 Master. Let's see what they do. Because I think now it's almost that should be standard good waterproofing on a wheel.
My opinion about the waterproofing on the Master Pro is go ride in the rain. Go. Don't worry about getting it wet. I've had that whole thing apart and the batteries are totally sealed. Everything's sealed.
Bearing's good too.
It's Well, can't talk about the bearings because I haven't gotten them really wet yet. But as for everything
Put some
else,
marine grease around it and
I mean, as
call it
long
a
as
day.
I'm not got water up over my pedals, right? Like that guy throwing the A2 in the lake and riding around in it. That guy was like riding with the yellow
It was
submarine.
like a surfboard.
Yeah, yeah. But the Master Pro, the water, it's the like the motherboard is great. Okay, don't expect to get any water in there. It's sealed really well.
Uh, so Stan says, do you think manufacturing companies will ever become more transparent of future releases, manufacturing practices, owner profiles, upgrades, websites behind the scenes? No. Got to be like Coca-Cola giving out their secret. They're not going to do it.
Yeah, I
Yeah, I don't think they're going to.
know what that
Nah,
means. Transparent. That's
they're not. I mean, they're not going to give us a super behind the scenes look at anything. I don't think so. There's no company's going to really do that.
I mean, maybe if you're like Chinese and understand Mandarin, okay, you
But
might be getting an inside scoop, but
even then, I don't think they want. I mean, if you're giving out too much information, your competition's always going to have the one up on you too. So
yeah,
they're,
but Sensei, don't don't you think that they got spies within their own
oh, dude.
their organizations? Come
Well,
on.
you do. You see what's going.
I
You see
mean,
what's going on now.
because as soon as what there, I don't know if you remember this, but do you remember how I think it was Lieber Kim got pissed off at Bagot and sent him some kind of letter and said, "Oh, we're going to sue you and take you to court and all that kind of stuff."
I do remember that. I do remember that actually. Yeah, there was some legal battle going on between them two.
Yeah, they were fighting. I saw there was like some letter, and they were bitching and excuse me, they were complaining about like, oh, you stole our, things that are similar to the Sherman or something like that.
It's
But, but how do they know? How do they know? How did they know they were going to come out with that? I swear to God, they've got like these inside guys that go work for the company, and they're like inside spies and stuff like that. They gotta be.
there's something going on. I can't put my finger. I don't want to say anything because I don't want them to be like, hey, but there's that's in any type of manufacturing though. When you think about it,
Because like a week later, they come out with like their version of it.
mhm. Oh, dude, you just lost a sub. Vibe says CJ I just unsubbed from a channel after the M104 comment. Ha, that's funny.
I what he unsubbed me or did I
Yeah,
unsub him?
he's just joking.
I don't know.
CJ just unsubbed from my channel after my M104 comment.
Oh man,
Oh, he's saying you did. Okay, I misunderstood the comment. That's funny. Yes, you did. You did
no
make me
doubt.
stride on that. Dude, I would have never did that. You guys were moving too. That thing's like sitting on the back of a bus, man.
You know
The Pro.
that's very dangerous riding in the rain, especially when you hit that those oil patches there in that big city.
Or even
You're gonna
crosswalks.
slide out.
Crosswalks like an ice rink. The paint, the stripes.
You're gonna go sideways.
Dude, I think we actually answered that too already. Do you feel that the people are saying that the Sherman, that's what we started off with, the Sherman S is outdated? I don't think so. I don't think so at
No,
all.
it's not
Not at all.
outdated. It's the 2023 wheel, and it'll bring us on into springtime. I think all the new wheels that are out there. I don't know. I think the Lynx is the next wheel after the Sherman S. That's bringing us into because the patent in it. Nobody got real all that excited about the patent,
Right. I
but
think when it
everybody.
first came out of the blocks, it did. I think the wheel that caught a lot of people off guard was again, I keep saying the Mini Pro. Um, I was watching the Alien Ride video when they said they had that thing just sitting in the shop and then they took it out and they were really surprised about that wheel. But I think the sleeper wheel is the Commander Pro, actually. That might be my next wheel, the Commander Pro. I
Mm,
think it does everything well. It does everything that I need. Like I said, I'm not a speedster, so I don't need a wheel that's going to do, 60 something miles an hour. The suspension it's pretty close to the Sherman, with the hydraulic suspension. You have a shell on the wheel. It's easy to maneuver around and stuff. So that might be my next one. That's what I'm thinking.
It's got a pretty big battery on it, doesn't it?
3,600 watt hour battery.
It's the
And
same as the Sherman.
yeah, that's more than enough for me.
Yeah.
That is more than enough for me.
What about the Commander Mini?
I like the Mini has a 2,400 watt hour battery.
Now, what's the deal with the EB? What's that mean?
The EB as far as what? Oh, Extreme Bull.
Yeah. What do you think of the Extreme Bull? Is that what the?
That's the same. That's the same
It's
company.
the same
Extreme.
thing. Okay.
Yeah, same thing. Yeah.
Because I see people advertising it as EB and then just Commander Mini.
Yeah, I just say the Mini Pro. That's what I say.
Now, between the two companies, I was looking at one company's got them coming in the Mini coming in with red pedals, red acrylic pedals, and um, the e-wheels has the version where it's like silver, I think. So
Mhm.
there's some different colored
Yeah, you can
versions
get
of it.
the bars on it. Like if you get it from Alien Rides, I believe you can get it with I know they have a blue. You can get blue on it. Like the blue roll bars, and E-Wheels has silver. Some have the red. Then Alien Rides has the red acrylic pedals. I guess it depends on where you buy it from, what dealer you get it from. Yes, Dan, they got a Commander Pro GT coming out, 168 volt. Yeah, I just want to see what that thing's going to be like. But I
What
would
do
be
you
good. I'd be
what
good
do-
with the Commander
what do
Pro.
you think of the higher voltage wheels?
Um,
Honestly, we had this
you really
talk.
want my opinion on it?
We had this talk about, like, I told you, I said, well,
Okay,
didn't I say that I thought that the higher voltage wheels, even though they're higher voltage, we're still getting the same battery, so we're gonna be like chewing those batteries up
you're
a
going to
lot
blow
quicker.
through the batteries. And after we had that discussion, and I know people are going to fry me in the comments, but what I'm going to say, I think if you're racing, it is one thing. But if you're out there just being an enthusiast, I think it's smoke and mirrors in a sense, because you still have guys that ride 100-volt wheels harder and faster than people that are riding the 134-volt and 151-volt wheels. You know what I mean? So to me, it comes down to the rider. How hard are you willing to push the wheel? Of course, with the battery technology that we have, like you said, and then these high speeds, you will rip through those batteries so fast.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
So
I guess you got to figure out, like, what's the most important to you, all that acceleration and speed for like a race, or you're looking for like range.
yeah, I mean, if you're an everyday cruise rider, you're gonna hit, you're gonna take it up every once in a while. 134-volt wheel is more than enough. 100-volt wheel to me is still enough for me
So
for
you think
how I
that
ride.
you think this is a safety aspect to having the higher voltage wheel? What would be a safety aspect? I kind of posed the question at Marty and didn't really get a response
Oh, people say,
because I'm
oh
trying to
well,
figure out why do I.
higher voltage. They put the bigger, what the 50S batteries in, and they're saying that you can't cut it out. I still think people are going to cut wheels out regardless. I think so.
Hmm.
I still think people are going to end up cutting wheels out.
Well, then there shouldn't be any pressure about higher voltage wheels, right? Because the issue has been like, oh well, nobody's buying those 84-volt wheels anymore. Everybody's got a 100-volt wheel. I mean, even Marty was kind of like putting the jab in.
I still think,
He's putting the knife in, like, oh, nobody owns a 100-volt wheel anymore.
dude, if you're not out trying to blaze the track, honestly, you can still get on an 84-volt wheel and commute across the city.
Well, see,
Yeah,
I'm afraid to get on my V11 now.
before.
Well, because it's 84-volt, I somehow feel like, oh, it's only 84 volts, so
Marty,
I'm
put the
gonna,
fear in you.
yeah, I know, I'm gonna cut out, like, oh, I need more voltage because I'm gonna cut out. It could happen at any moment on that 84-volt. You don't want that.
Well, dude,
So yeah.
I don't over lean on a wheel anyway, so my chances of cutting out a wheel are slim or none. I mean, the way I ride now, I won't cut out a wheel trying to over accelerate it. I don't need to accelerate that fast. Okay, what we got here? they know that each is working on because they're suppliers who are basically making their wheel and selling their customer. Uh, what's HOM? So the reason why there's so many fake duplicates. Yeah, it's always going to be like that. That's just like sneaker companies and even auto manufacturers, dude. You ever notice one car come out, it's popular, they all look the freaking same with a different badge on it. So that's in any type of manufacturing you get, man. I still think the most unique looking wheel out there, and they ran away from the design, is the Nikola.
The Nikola?
What other wheel was round like that? Maybe the 9 bot, but I mean, after that, who was making those really round? Think about it. The Nikola was almost a complete round circle.
You talking here? Do I have one? Yeah, I got one.
I mean, the V10F was round, but
You
look,
talking
dude,
this thing, right?
yeah, look at that. That I mean, to me, the Nick was unique like that, man.
That's the one thing I do like about this wheel, is it's smooth and it's shaped like an egg, and it's really comfortable. It's not a sit rider. Definitely not a sit rider. You can put a seat on it if you're clever enough, but I had a seat on it for a while. I took the seat off, and I enjoy riding that standing up all the time. It's nimble. You can take it real slow. It turns great.
Yeah.
It's got enough speed to go down the road. Uh, Probably not anything I'd want to take in traffic that I'd feel comfortable with, but around the neighborhood, and maybe, well, it'd probably do good for a commuter, like in the city when you're, on the pedestrian walkways and stuff like that. I don't think that I would take it out into traffic,
Dude,
you know.
if you would go to New York, and I don't know about now, but before you would go to say you go to Kung Fu Tea, you know how many Nicholas you would see down there, dude? That was a New York wheel, the Nick, man. That was a staple of the New York streets was
That
a
was
darn
it.
Nikola. Yeah, they were, dude. Yeah, man.
I'd be like, oh, I got my Nick. I'm so cool. I get down there and be like, oh man, I'm nobody. Everybody's got one. But it's a great wheel. I mean, that's part of the reason why I bought two of them, you
Yeah,
know.
dude. The Nick is still. I was still rocking Nick. Oh, Dell says if you can't ride an 84-volt
Right?
wheel, you should just give up. Say it. I still rock an 84. I think every wheel has a purpose, you know. I saw a dude probably about a month ago getting on the Long Island Railroad with he had a 9 bot. He had the 9 bot. He was actually surprised I knew what it was. I was like, the 9 bot. He's like, what? You know what this is? I'm like, yeah, dude, please, I ride too.
There's different versions of that 9-bot too, like 9-bot A, 9-bot
Mm-hmm.
A plus, 9-bot something or other. And I started looking at it, and really the only thing that defined the difference between them was how much battery you stuck in it.
How much battery? Yeah, well, the 18XL wasn't completely round though, like the Nick. It wasn't completely round. Now I could see the 14D, even like the 9 bot, but the complete roundness, I still think there was nothing like the Nick. The closest one I would say maybe the V10F, but not the 18XL wasn't completely round. Close, but not all the way. Hold on a second. What else we got? So why is it difficult for the community to be consensus to the battery and voltage upgrades? Or are we still confused of what these upgrades actually accomplish?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. I think a lot, I
We,
don't want to say overkill, but a lot of this stuff, most riders aren't going to push a wheel that hard. You have some people that ride hard, but a lot of riders aren't pushing their wheels to the brink. They're not.
you know, they sell it to us, but a lot of people don't know, what it's going to do for you.
Yeah. Dude, right here, Vibes, I agree with you 100%. If you watch Yanson's videos and even live, dude, I was watching live, slice and dice through traffic on that Nikola, and I had to pause the video. I was like, watch some of Live's videos, the Uni Squad, man. That dude, I saw him going through. It was a delivery van and a car. Now this dude's pushing that Nikola to the limit on the beeps. You see him turn his body sideways to get between the mirror and the car. And you understand what I mean? Yeah. Yeah, they push those wheels, man. Like I said, they ride those 100-volt wheels harder than most people ride those 134-volt wheels. They do. They push the crap out of those things, man. Yeah, I agree with you there. And
Most
live, if
people,
you don't know about live, look at his videos, man. That dude can freaking ride.
but most people that are living like close to New York, like real close to the city center, like that, don't have cars, right? So
Right.
they're
Right.
riding those units all the time.
Yep, they live on their wheels. There's really no sense even owning a car in New York City, man. Parking's horrible, congestion. It's just a pain in the butt. Oh, I never heard of that. The 9 by P. Okay.
The 9P.
So all the voltage and battery gratings are. I wouldn't say fraudulent, but it's just like you have let's say you go out, you buy a new Corvette, right? Top speed. Let's just say top speed on it is 185 miles an hour. Where are you going to ride 185 miles an hour? Most people aren't going to push that car even up to 100 miles an hour. They're not. They're not. That's most cars. Most people do not drive their car to its full capability. They don't. It's almost like bragging rights.
I don't think that people. I mean, yeah, maybe the higher voltage wheels. I mean, they probably do have a better safety because of
Gives you
the
more
higher
headroom.
voltage, because of more headroom, and that's really what riding an electric unicycle is all about. Because
Mhm.
once you use up your headroom, you're done. Even though your wheel might still function, you're not going to be doing anything special fun on it. You know, so. But I don't think I think that a lot of people aren't grasping the concept of a higher voltage wheel and what it really means. I think we're being sold like, oh yeah, it's just 134 volt or it's 160 some odd volt wheel,
Yeah.
but then when you look at the specs and it's like got the same battery or um, they're not really telling you a real reason why I want that higher voltage wheel.
Yeah. Yeah. It's again, like you said, I think you hit the nail on the head. Okay, you got a higher voltage wheel with the same effing batteries in it. You see? So something's going to be lacking somewhere. Even if you put the 50Es in there, you're still at higher voltage wheel, you're still going to rip through the freaking battery. That's just the bottom line. You're going to rip through it.
I think the best way to get a real understanding of your battery or what you're doing with your battery is you go out and you ride your electric unicycle until you got nothing left on it. So like you're doing a Marty back video where it's all tilted over like this and you're trying to get home and you got about a half a mile left and
Mhm.
you got to have your wife come pick you up. Okay. Right. You need to ride your electric unicycle like Marty Back does because then you get a real understanding of how long did it take me to charge up my battery, okay? And then how much riding time did I actually get out of my electric unicycle? Once you feel that battery die on you and it's all lagging, okay, and you know that you've got to put in another 6 to 8 hours to charge that battery, you're going to get an idea of like, oh, well, I was riding like this today. I was riding like a madman, just going crazy. And so maybe I need to tone down my riding style a little bit because I want to get a little more range out of it. Well, yeah, write it down, understand how your battery's depleted, and then after that, you can make a better decision about maybe getting a unit with a bigger battery.
Right. Yeah, I
Um,
mean, you think about it. If you take the links if you take that for example, you rip through that battery, eventually you're going to be cruising at 35 miles an hour, maybe tops. You understand what I mean? Once you get through the top end of that battery, so you're only going to be riding them higher speeds for a very short amount of time before you have to drop down to keep it around 30 or 35. So,
Right. You got the tilt back speed, all that stuff turned on you, riding around like a ballerina.
yeah, on your toes,
Yeah.
man. On your toes. Stan says, doesn't Jansen use God? I don't know if he uses God mod or not.
God mod. Oh yeah, so God mod I've heard absolutely accomplishes nothing because Go George Go did a big whole video thing on God mode, and his opinion was kind of like, it didn't really get him going.
I would take and look at what they're doing right now because he's actually made bigger models of the God mod. So I
That's
would
it.
look into that. Yeah. Um, to me, again, people are going to argue. It makes sense if you look at what some of these unicycles have done. They have actually added bigger capacitors. That's what they had to do with the, if I'm not mistaken, even with the Abrams to stop. Part of the issue with the cutout was adding bigger capacitors or more capacitors to it. So there is logic to that. I would definitely follow up with God Mod's help me out here on IG because they were out at AVS and they posted numbers and stats and things like that. You have riders that ride with that thing and
You know
they
what the
do well with it.
you know what the God mod is? It's just a buffer.
That's
Yeah,
it. That's all it is.
yeah, it's just a buffer. It's like a couple bunch of extra
It's
capacitors, so your
once
battery
you're
dies.
pulling the power out of that battery to capacity, it'll yank the power from the capacitor. That's
Right.
all it does. It does. It's cars been using capacitors for years doing that stuff. Electric cars, certain ones anyway.
Probably, with the higher voltage and the fact that the batteries now are dumping a lot quicker, probably God mode's kind of pointless. But I don't know. I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, look him up on I know he was at AVS. He goes to all the events. Oh yeah, you're right, Vibes. 100%. NYC went from the Nikola to the EX30, and we'll probably see the link. Yeah,
Yeah,
there's a lot
Lynx.
of EX30s now.
The Lynx is small enough.
Oh yeah, yeah,
I
it's nimble.
I think that even the Sherman S is like in downtown New York, cities like that. I think that the smaller electric unicycle is kind of the way to go. Because you're in, you're out, you're here, you're there, you're dodging, you're weaving. You
Yeah,
know,
that's what they were saying about I keep saying the Mini Pro. I'm not trying to plug it, but when I was watching the video, I think it was Hayden. I think that's his name from Alien Rise. They're talking about that 16, well, we know it's like closer to an 18-inch, but they said that will be a good machine for the city because you can get in and out and duck in and out of traffic. And that Mini Pro will hit 50 miles an hour if you can get it up that fast. That's cranking on an 18-inch wheel. Yeah. Even Ronan, if you ever see Ronan Rider showed his videos coming down through the tunnel and he was hitting 50, hit 50, actually a little bit more than 50 on it. 52. I could be wrong, but somewhere around in there. So Spartacus is saying, I'm disappointed manufacturer skipped 115. Might be a good sweet spot, and no one will ever know. I like more range over power. Yeah, I'm with you on that one. Walking with a dead Sherman. I think walking with any wheel sucks, man. You have to walk that thing. Walk of shame. Yeah. Yeah, I think again, voltage, higher voltage is good depending on how you're going to ride. But I still think some of it is just almost like smoke and mirrors in a sense. It's almost like more horsepower in a car. Are you going to use all that horsepower?
man, I went 26, 26 miles, something like that, in one direction on a Master Pro, and I had to go over like a kind of a long grade, and I made it. But then when I came back, I ran out, and yeah, I had to do the walk of shame. It sucked.
Yeah, it's
So
no good. Need to have some skates, skates on your back. Stan, I think they do have leaderboards and times. I'm not sure about Amped, but I know uh, AVS has it up there. Yeah. Oh, they'll hit 200. Yeah, someone's going to hit 200 volts. I believe there'll be a 200-volt wheel before summertime or around summertime, maybe before. Someone's going to hit. You already have 168. Someone's going to come up and pass that up.
no,
Someone's
I'm not gonna work on these units anymore though. So I'm not gonna get in there and mess around with the boards or anything like that because that voltage that hurts, man. Like 84 volts is not too bad, but I'm starting to get a little afraid at these higher voltages.
freaking shock yourself half to death with these things.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, man.
And I do get in there. I look at the boards. I
You do.
unplug things. You got to unplug your batteries when you're working on stuff. And
Dude, we made it through
did
all
we?
the comments. Um, we've been on it for a pretty good bit. Is there anything we're going to start bringing this down to a close? Is there anything you would like to add? Anything you would like to say?
Anybody wants to ask me anything?
Anybody want to ask CJ anything? Or forever hold your peace? Anyone want to ask me anything? I don't know if I have any answers, but I'll do the best I can. But see, this
Yeah.
this is the thing, Spartacus, with traffic, right? This is what I say to people. You have consistent speed to me is probably more important than top end speed, if that makes sense. Does it? It's like you can only go but so fast in New York, man. Stuff comes up on you so quick. And if you're not used to riding, bad things are going to happen. That's why I would see that. I mean, you do want a wheel that can put the power down, but
But you
at
want to
the
be able to keep up too, though.
yeah, but this is what people understand. Speed limit in New York City is only 25 miles an hour. And I'm not saying people don't speed, but if you have a wheel that can do 35 miles an hour, dude, you can make some serious ground in New York City. You can cover a lot of ground. You can beat any car through the city. And if Vibes is still in here, chime in on that. If you can do like consistent 30 miles an hour, you will beat almost any car through the city, unless you get on the West Side Highway. But in between the avenues and stuff, you outrun just about any car. Yeah. Stand 200-volt death row, right?
Yeah.
You're in the rain and just get the crap shocked out of you, dude, on your wheel. Yeah, dude.
They're gonna introduce a new wheel. It's called the Little Sparky, right?
You guys are hilarious.
Nah, I don't know. It really
Will
depends,
CJ make it to
actually.
any public
But
events for a
probably not anytime soon. My situation is this. So I love to ride, but I have to stay close to home because I have a very important family member that means a lot to me. I take care of a dementia patient, which happens to be my mom. She has short-term memory, and so I always have to be here. It's really unfortunate because I would have a lot of fun hanging out with everyone.
Mhm. We
But
have to come down and see CJ, make a
yeah,
trip
you'll have
down.
to come here. I got some good riding. I mean, it's nice riding around here.
Oh, definitely. Heck yeah, I was in Tennessee. I had a great time down there. Spartacus saying, I'm talking more about quick stopping and going, gas, brake, dip. Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah, man. Oh, yeah. I think
No,
that's
we're you know what? You were asking me something. You were missing something. We were going to talk about what me unloading
unloading.
or a
I don't
couple
understand.
of wheels. All right, were we going to talk about that?
Oh, we can talk about that off camera.
Okay.
Yeah, we can do that off.
Well, if anything, I'm okay. So I got too many, and I'm trying to focus in on like the higher end wheels, and so
Right.
I'm thinking about. I'm going to keep one of my Nicholas. I'm probably going to let a Nikola go. I'm probably going to let my Monster Pro go. And that's
Uh-oh.
a 24-inch wheel. That's an awesome
That's a beast of a wheel, too. I was just looking
beast.
at one.
I'm thinking about letting my EX20 go, which
Let's talk about that one.
I've never ridden. Never ridden it.
We need to
Let's
talk
talk about.
about that one,
Where is it? It's right there.
the EX20.
Okay, right there. There it is.
Um, I might talk to you about the EX20.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a crazy looking machine. I've got a V11 that I'm thinking about letting go. And so the ones that I'm going to focus in on, oh, and maybe even an M10 3 that I'm
Okay.
thinking about letting go. Um, because I primarily want to focus on the kind of the top end, the
Right. You
major
did say that.
three units. The Master Pro, which I'm kind of enamored with now. I can't wait to get on this thing because it's nice. It's nice. And I still love my Sherman S's, and I'm just keeping Sherman Max, just a kind of nostalgia. So I got a few wheels to let go. Um,
People definitely give him a contact.
Yeah, let
Um,
Sensei know or whatever.
yeah, or you can contact me, and I'll be the middleman here. So Stan says, "Hell of a show. Thank you, Stan. Thank everybody again. This
Yeah, thanks for
show
showing
went
up.
amazing." And he goes, "How do you guys categorize your riding skills?" I'll let you go first, and then I'll come fly over the top.
I am probably hmm, I've been riding for like what, almost 2 years now. Um, yeah, I'm okay. I'm not great.
Right.
I'm not like a pro. I'm not very good at riding backwards, so
Neither am I. Neither am I. For me, I'm just a cruiser. Like I said, the way I tell people what my riding style is, I can go ride in any group ride. I can go to competitions and I can compete. I'm not going to be the best, but I can get the job done and I can have fun anywhere I go.
I do like riding fast on the highway.
Yes, that's me. I can, like I said, I can go anywhere, have fun. I'm not the best, but I'm just a cruise rider. I'm not trying to push the limit. I'm not trying to be the fastest, but I just go there to be safe and have fun, and that's
I
it, man. Just a cruiser.
I like sit riding the most.
That's what. Well, I built a seat. The video
Yeah,
should.
you
I'll have the
haven't
video.
shown us your seat yet,
I
man.
will. The video will be up. What's today? Monday, Tuesday, Monday. I'll have the video up by Wednesday or Thursday. Probably Wednesday. Show
Okay, okay,
everyone the
gotta
seat
see
that I
the
built.
seat. I want to see the seat
It
configuration.
came out really good though. I'm
Yeah.
actually pat myself on the back. I was
Okay.
proud of myself. Took a
Very
few
cool.
tries. Okay, let's see. No, no, no. It's no, no, no. If you guys want CJ's wheels, definitely contact me or contact CJ and see what you want to do.
Yeah,
Heck
make me
yeah,
an
man.
offer. If I
And
got the
see, like I
yeah.
said, I have no control over that. That's going to be between you and CJ. Oh nah, dude. I actually have to get rid of something before I get something. And I think I'm actually going to give a wheel away.
Are you?
Yeah, I think I'm just
What?
going to give one away. So
We
I
should
think
have a.
I might let the Tesla go.
You're gonna let the Tesla
I'm going
go.
to let the Tesla go. I'm not going to give away the RS, but I think
Okay, so what's your next wheel gonna be then? What are you thinking about?
we'll see. We'll see.
Lynx? You gonna get a Lynx?
Nah, the Lynx is just too high price for me. Not saying that I can't afford it. I'm
Oh
just
yeah, I
not going to
keep
spend that
forgetting. It's
money.
like four freaking K. I wouldn't even buy a
Yeah, I'm
Lynx.
not going to get. If like I said, if I
I
could
want
buy
one.
anything, it would probably be the Commander Pro right now. I think it checks off all the boxes for me.
I was looking at the Commander Mini.
That's a good dude. That's a nice wheel, dude.
That looks
I
kind of cool.
The only thing for me with the Commander Mini, I want something with a little more range, but you have range already. You see what I'm saying? I don't have that. Well, I have I'm talking about suspension wheel. I have that
Right.
with the Sherman, but that Commander Mini is phenomenal. Yeah.
Everybody wants the Lynx. I want the Lynx. The Lynx is too expensive. I really do want one. I, I just can't afford it. It's just four K plus or
We'll see it
whatever.
in
And
your stable next week. He's like, I got two of them. We'll see it soon,
no,
CJ.
no, no. And as much, and I know, and it's really bad too because it's a Leaper Kim. Because I'm focusing in on the Leaper Kim stuff. Like if there was a company, if I was to drop all companies today and only chose one company that provides me with an electric unicycle, it would be Leaper Kim
Man.
because they seem to be doing things that the other guys aren't doing. You know,
Mhm.
they've made some incredible design changes and the quality is amazing, except for this last batch of Sherman S's, which they kind of cheaped out on the pedals a
Oh,
little
you
bit.
did say that. I
Yeah,
never was a big fan of the Sherman, like the S pedals. I wasn't a
the
fan of those
pedals
pedals.
were janky. They're still, the first set of pedals that came in the first or second batch were not bad. This third, fourth, fifth batch, whatever that's come out, they're just a cast pedals. They're crap. I don't even know. Honestly, I don't even know why Lieber can put these pedals on the Sherman that they include.
Mhm.
They're embarrassing.
Libra Kim, you hear that? Nah, they need to hear it. They need to hear it. They'll step up their
Really,
pedal game.
really bad. Okay, guys.
Hold
Well,
on one second.
I'll let you close.
Yep, hold on. I'm gonna answer the last question. I
Okay.
made a seat Spartacus for the OG Sherman. So I will share that with you guys later. 2023 Wheel of the Year. I don't even know, dude. Like I said, what I look for in a wheel is completely different than what everyone else is looking for. Um, oh, Gary Taylor says someone was selling a nice Sherman S in the city for 2,600. Said 7 out of 10 small crash, just messed up the kickstand and some cosmetic stuff. Okay,
Two,
yeah,
two. I'd say I'll give you two.
yeah, I would say about two tops, maybe 21. Okay, everybody, we want to thank you from the bottom of our hearts, man, for this. Honestly, this was a great live. CJ, I definitely want to thank you. We talked about this, we made it happen.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was fun.
We'll do it again when there's
Yes, we
more to talk
will.
about, right?
Yes, always something to talk about when it comes to wheels. I want to thank each and every one of you for joining us. But remember, you get on your wheel and you ride it like you,
Like
come
you
on,
hate it, man. Like you
ride
hate
it like you hate it, but you be safe out there. You ride it like you hate it. I'm Sensei. That's CJ. Hello. Good night. And thank you so much for joining us. Peace out, everybody.